So I guess today I'm going to actually be doing the Dawn Strike scenario, which is
Yes.
the first
Oh,
United
1950.
Nations air raid or carrier strike of the Korean War. So we'll
I played
control.
this yesterday.
You
I remember
did,
this. Yes, I
yeah.
did. I was pleasantly surprised because TacView had uh, had icons for the planes.
Oh, this will be good. I haven't actually played this one yet.
Yeah. Well, I'll shut up about it then. So.
So we'll control the Valley Forge and HMS Triumph, and our target is some airfields and infrastructure in Western Korea. So Valley Forge has a mix of propeller and jet aircraft in the form of F-9Fs, and the Triumph has a World War II era Seafire and Fireflies, so a bit older on the Triumph. And then just some information about the background of Valley Forge and leading up to the Korean War. Valley Forge and Triumphs are to launch recon flights to determine AAA defenses of their respective targets prior to main strike launches. Triumph CAG to conduct primary strike against. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that airfield. Triumph CAG secondary targets are coastal batteries in the vicinity of. Again, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Valley Forge CAG to conduct strikes against the. I'm sorry, guys, my ability to pronounce things is horrible. And Pioning airfields and Beidang Strait CAG to provide ASW cover for Valley Forge. So that's our tasking. I think they also redid the briefings
Uh huh.
in CMO. Because if you notice, they all look like they more followed like a more specific like outline now.
Yeah,
Kind of a standard outline now.
like a standing orders. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not even just really that. It's like, well, it's not like what I went into for like Eldorado Canyon, but
Yeah.
it's more clear what your orders are.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones were a little. I don't want to say they were bad, but they were kind of a little iffy.
Limited transmissions on the MCOM there.
Yeah, and it
Oh,
defaults
I
to
love
have.
these maps.
Yeah,
I love the
and it
maps.
defaults to having the roads on. That's great.
Well, you think about it. It's 1950 we're playing in, and a lot of those roads weren't in existence yet. So.
Well, yeah. It's still nice though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's great.
I
Absolutely.
mean, even if you look at like
It's
a lot of roads, I mean, I'm sure there was some road there. I mean, you don't just
oh yeah,
create, a road out of. Most of the time, you don't just create a road out of nowhere. There's some precedence for it. So,
sure, sure. But yeah, the maps leaps and bounds better than what we're used to.
yeah.
So
So there's our patrol box for our carrier. Are our carriers actually on a mission? Nope, they're not.
nope, no missions.
So what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna manually plot a course to our box or around our box. I should set up a patrol mission is what I should really do, but I'm feeling lazy
Yeah.
this morning. So we'll just go to cruise. That'll be fine.
You said for the waypoint.
Oh, did I? Oops.
Yeah,
There we go. Go to cruise.
there you go.
Then there is the Triumphs
Looks like
group.
it's ready to go.
And we'll just have that go along our patrol box.
I wonder if those map artifacts are. You see where I'm saying there on the lower left?
Oh, these ones?
Yeah, the lower left stuff. Yeah, that stuff there. I wonder if that's something that's unavoidable. I mean, it's
When you're using satellite maps, there's bound to be some. It's kind of like what you get right here, where it transitions to be.
uh
You can
huh.
tell where they have the high def imagery and where it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think that's anything to do with the game. That's just
No,
where.
no, I don't think it's a game. I think it's just the data they have for the maps and how it.
Let's get our recon flights up. Everything's actually ready to go. So we
Yeah.
don't have any. We don't have
No,
to
no
basically.
fiddle with air
I'm gonna say no waiting on this one. Let's just go ahead and get started. So first thing is let's get our recon aircraft up. If I can... Oh, there they are. So we'll just go ahead. We'll identify our targets before we even launch our strike. And so now that CMO is out, are we going to get that Red October scenario?
Well, I'm thinking on it. I'm really thinking hard. You know, that's just a whole lot of research to go into that, because you have to figure out. Because with me being a stickler for authenticity as much as I can, or to stay as close as the book in this instance, as close as I can, I want to find out exactly how many different classes of Soviet submarines were Clancy intended to put to sea.
Oh, so you're actually going like the historical route then, even though it's kind of
kind of that way, but in the book he pretty much gives the compositions of all the task forces and everything. The hard part's the submarines.
I actually have a script that'll spawn those subs randomly for you. All you have to do is put in the number you want.
Yeah, I'll have to throw me that one day.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether to start them out of the off the Kola Peninsula there, or
I guess
if I start them out way back there, that scenario is going to take forever.
Well, yeah, I would actually probably start them closer. I would. Yeah. It really depends. It really depends on when you're planning on setting it. Are you planning on setting it in? I would set it in after they've already found out.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking too.
In the book, I think there was a part. It's been a while since I've read the book, but there was a part where they recalled the Invincible back from the Eastern Atlantic back over. Yeah. And so yeah. I probably started about there, about the time, the Soviets are on station, and,
I think in the book, the Invincible gets teamed up with the USS New Jersey.
I believe it does, too.
So, something like that. I'll have to go over that. I have a particular section bookmarked on a PDF I have in the book, so.
But that's where I'd probably started if I were doing it.
Yeah. Kind of, it's a Corsair plane there, isn't it?
That is a Corsair.
Yeah. Well, rare birds in the air now. You don't really see them a whole lot flying around.
No, there's only a couple still flying. If I had my choice of any World War II warbird to own, it would be a Corsair.
Yeah.
Then again, I grew up with Baba Black Sheep on TV, so.
Yeah. What's the?
That was the one about
Squadron.
Yeah, Black Sheep Squadron.
Yeah. I remember that show. Yeah.
I mean, completely and utterly ahistoric. Really wasn't.
Oh yeah, it was.
It was definitely. Comedy, it was kind of it wasn't really a comedy, but it
was kind of like a MASH kind of comedy.
Yeah, it was kind of like a MASH. It wasn't really a whole 100%. Yeah. Wasn't trying to be an accurate depiction of World War II, but you could tell it was dramatized.
Yeah. It was on about the same time MASH was, I believe. So.
Yeah, but I grew up watching that and reruns of that on TV. So.
And we got 14 viewers now. Hello, everybody. I am SSN754. This is Kushan Gaming is doing the stream here. He's invited me to join him, and we're doing a World War II. Well, not World War II. The Korean War scenario. Looks like we're going to be bombing some airstrips in Western Korea.
That's the plan, anyway, and probably some coastal batteries.
Yeah.
Worried about which one of these is going to be a motor torpedo boat. One of these is bound to be a torpedo boat.
Yeah. But your plane flew right over them, didn't see nothing, right?
Yeah, that's true. We are up a little high, though. We got some light clouds that... We should probably drop down in altitude, actually.
I'm sitting here watching this, and I'm wanting to click on stuff, and I can't do it, so...
We'll go down to 4,000 feet on our... We got some light rain in the scenario. If there's one thing I really... And I know it's really difficult. I really want localized weather. But I don't know how you do it. I've had some ideas how you could do it, but
that would be something that the scenario creator would put in. You know, what couldn't you say? Well, I don't know. Maybe like put your operating area into grids and say this. You know, this grid.
Well,
this weather.
that's kind of what I was thinking of. You could do it like, say, designate 4 like reference points, and you could assign weather to that box.
Yeah.
But
and then you can.
It's
even
just
have
a thought.
Move,
what was that?
Well, you can even have it move like like you can move the reference points. You can hook them up to like a.
Yeah, you could have it move with a unit. You could set up like a. If you did it that way, the other thing you could do is you could even set up a. We are picking up some AAA now. One thing you could even do is set it to like a civilian vessel to move with a civilian vessel.
Something like that.
And then that way, as the and the civilian vessel doesn't necessarily have to be tracked or targeted or anything. It would just kind of go on its thing, and then as it moved, it would act as the movement for your reference points, which would move your weather. But that's just kind of an idea I've had about how you could do localized weather. But
what's that plane doing? Is he just doing circles?
No, he was circling around, and then I have him scouting the coast as well. Our northern recon aircraft are still kind of going on their way. One thing you got to say about World War II warbirds, those are pretty fuel efficient, all things considered.
Oh yeah.
No. Range is crap, but.
Why don't you bring up tech views so we can see what the models look like?
Yeah. So are you sold on TAC-View?
Yeah.
I think you said you decided to pick it up.
I'm getting used to it. I know that the devs are working hard to maybe get that God mode thing fixed, but I mean, it's a great tool.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's a Spitfire.
It is very cool.
I want to go see the Corsair. Where's the Corsair at? There they are. Nope. Doesn't have a model for the Corsair. That's kind of lame.
Paper airplane.
Yeah. No. Where's the... And that's definitely not HMS Belfast.
Yeah,
that's a Tycho.
So we don't have World War II models yet. That looked like that was a Nimitz carrier.
That's a Tycho. Where's the Triumph? There's the Triumph. Yeah, that's a Nimitz. It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it works for me.
Yeah. You know, I mean, that's just something for the community maybe to work on, you know?
Yeah. I did see a thread on the forums the other day about the possibility of... Oh, there's a DD. So what I'm going to do is put this guy to have go circle around there, and then I want him to go...
What's that thing up towards Sunan there? Is that another airbase? A secondary target, maybe?
Where? Up here?
Up to there, all that stuff up there, yeah.
This, Sunan, is the Pyongyang airfield, and that's one of our targets.
Oh, okay. Well,
and then there's a radar site farther north. And we got a hostile destroyer. An Ognivoy. Yeah, I pushed out the latest version of Eldorado Canyon yesterday.
Did you?
Yep.
Did you put it on a workshop yet?
No, it's not on the workshop. I have 466 other scenarios that I have to upload to the workshop. I don't think that's a dev thing. I think that's actually a Steam thing. But Steam could definitely make that They're Epic. If Epic wants a way to this is completely off topic, but if Epic wants a way to actually compete with Steam, make an easy way to upload multiple mods to a workshop.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think we've identified.
It sure is easy to buy stuff off Steam, though.
Oh, it really is.
It's just an easy way to do it. I bought TagView through Steam.
Oh, you did?
I'm assuming that it'd just be just as easy to hook into, say, DCS with TagView through Steam. It is. I'm sure it's the same kind of setup for DCS, isn't it? Have you ever used TagView with DCS?
No, I've never used it. I know you can use it though.
Yeah.
Ooh, we have.
Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure these skunks may actually be hostile. Maybe. We'll see. I got my other recon aircraft on it. I think we've identified all the AAA in this area though. Nothing else is coming up. Let's fly around and see if there's anything farther out.
You would think they would shoot at you, but they're not even doing that.
No, I think they are shooting actually. Maybe. I may be a little. Oh yeah, they're shooting. You can see he's shooting at me.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you.
He's just not doing very good at it.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, they are shooting at me.
Basically doing a parade over their airfield. I'd be shooting at you too.
I don't understand why. Yeah, see, they're shooting at this guy too over here. Couldn't imagine trying to do this with a in a modern scenario. just fly a lone recon aircraft over the enemy airbase.
You would be pretty dead pretty quick.
Yeah, but where I was going, I guess with Operation Eldorado Canyon out the door, I'm starting to look at what I'm going to do next. A couple of patrol boats. Or mine layers, actually. And this group over here is awfully suspicious. You see groups if you see groups traveling along the same course. There we go. There's a mine layer. Yep, those are hostile.
I would throw a couple of planes on them.
That's what we have escorts for. I'm not too worried about them. What I'll probably do is detach one or two of my my escorting ships, who seem to be lagging a little behind here. Why are they going slow?
Go into unit mode and click on them.
That's what I'm going to do as soon as I reorder this. I accidentally cleared that out.
See
Make sure... Oh, because I had... This should be group, shouldn't it?
No, Dimitri. I got mine on a SSD hard disk, well, not hard disk, but SSD drive, and my maps load up really good, really fast.
Yeah, mine have been fine.
Kushan, you have yours on an SSD too, don't you?
Yeah, mine's on an SSD.
Yeah. I think that makes a world of difference. I did notice it was a little slower. The first time I installed CMO was on my hard disk, where the rest of my Steam stuff is at, and it was a little slower than it is on the SSD. So I think that's should be recommended, having it on SSD. Not everybody has one, but they're becoming a lot more prevalent.
I don't know why they're not going faster. My carrier's going at 14 knots. Everybody else is going. Everybody else is
forming up. Did they say is it slowing down to form up or whatever? When you click on the group?
Unassigned, drifting and underway. That's weird. They're in a group.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Well,
so maybe what I should do is probably slow my carrier down then. I don't want my carrier going that far ahead. Interesting that they're saying drifting though. Why?
Yeah.
But then doesn't actually let me change their course or their speed. Oh, because they're set to sprint and drift. That's why. That's what's going on. They're set to sprint and they're set to sprint and drift. Okay, that's not the game. It's just me being a dummy.
Yeah. Well.
That's what's going on.
What that tactic really? I don't know if they used that back in or not.
Yeah, they use sprint drift. I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, we're gonna take off sprint and drift. That's why they're going slow and lagging behind. That's a sprint and drift. All right,
that slows everybody down.
Yeah. Well, now you can see as soon as I take them off, they're speeding up now.
Yes.
All right, so they should get back onto station here shortly.
So many little details that people overlook, and they think it's a bug, but it really isn't. You know.
Yeah.
That's just the beauty of this sim. It's just so much detail has been poured into it.
What about this group? Are they all set to sprint and drift too?
Well, it's not clicked up on the top right there.
Yeah, no, they're all fine over here. Just that other group was a little weird.
Wonder why the scenario creator did that, or if he did that on purpose.
Could have just been an oops.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost my recon. He got shot down.
We have a POW. He's gone, everybody.
Oops. Got a couple of torpedo boats coming in on me.
Yeah, I would definitely put some planes in the air and put them at the bottom, dude. But
I'm not too worried about them. That's what I have escorts for.
Okay.
Yeah, I is bailing out. Yeah, oops. Is this bailing out? Is that new?
I think that's part of the aircraft damage model.
Oh,
is that it?
I don't remember ever seeing it when it says bailing out when they in the message log though.
I don't remember either.
Unless I remember it popping up if the scenario designer did Lua, but shows how much I've looked at the message log. One thing I found is that since it's collapsible now, I leave it collapsed like almost all the time now.
I do too. Even though I have two monitors, I could throw it on the second monitor. I don't. I just leave it there.
Well, and normally that's what I would do, but I've been streaming so much that I've just left everything kind of in its default location.
But yeah.
If I was playing on my own, then yeah, I spread everything around. But since I've been streaming so much,
usually I just have the main window on one monitor, the message, and now Tac View gets half the other monitor too. So, because if I paid for it, I'm darn well going to use it. So
I'm gonna have to like buy a third monitor. Actually, my plan is to buy 3 monitors on Black Friday if I can find a good enough deal.
Go to Costco. You can get that 42-inch.
I can't set it up with how my desk is, man.
Okay.
I would love to have a TV as a monitor, but with how my desk is, I'm forced to kind of arrange my desk. I don't really have a place to put it.
Yeah.
At least not with my current desk setup.
Physical constraints.
Yeah.
You couldn't put it on like a wall mount or anything like that?
Well, I could, but that's also where my PC is sitting on my desk, is behind my monitors.
Yeah.
Well, I maybe.
You have to look into it. There's
a
lot of figuring out.
Well, the problem is that I could do the TV on the wall, but with how my desk is, I don't actually have room to get, like, I like having like the big one in the middle in that case, and then the 2 smaller ones off to either side. And the problem would be if I did that, I couldn't get like the smaller monitor on the right side. I think would be the kind of the problem with doing that. But I'll look into it. We'll see.
Running Man 84. I use 2 29-inch ultra wides, and I have a 42-inch TV that's a 4K TV. That's I'm kind of on the fence of using it as a monitor or not.
And here you are telling me to go buy one.
Well, and it's an option, but the reason I'm on the fence with it is because I used to watch TV when I'm on my computer, you know. So if I'm using it as a monitor, I lose that option.
Yeah.
And,
Normally, what I do is, since I'm on Xfinity or Comcast, what I normally do is leave. If I do, on the rare occasions I actually want to watch TV, I'll actually put it on my second monitor.
yeah,
But I guess I can't really say that because I'll have YouTube up on that second monitor or
uh-huh.
Twitch or whatever I'm doing. So I can't really say I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV, but you guys know what I mean.
You're streaming something.
Yeah, I'm streaming something.
Yeah.
Is he still set to sprint drift? No, he's just closing in on a station. He's just got really far behind. Everybody else is back on station though.
Yeah.
It's probably worth not if even though that's not really a bug, that's probably worth posting in the forums.
What's that?
Oh, the sprint drift issue.
Yeah. You got what? 5 ships closing in on you.
I'm not super worried. They're just little patrol boats.
Who's that? Who's your first ship there? What is that?
The
Is
lead
it,
ship or the
yeah,
north
the lead
one?
ship. Well, the north one there.
HMS Consort. She's a C-class destroyer.
HMS Consort. Let's look that up. I'll be your history.
Although one of this group is a RFA, so that doesn't really count as a combat ship.
Consort.
But what I think I'm gonna do is detach Belfast and Consort here to go deal with those guys. There we go.
She was commissioned in 1946.
Ah, that's loud.
And then decommissioned in 1961 and scrapped in China. Oh, what'd I do? Clicked out.
See, you can do either or. So the DB images will be, if one's available, will be downloaded when you click on. So like right there, I clicked once, it downloads the image, you click again and it'll refresh the page with the image. Yeah, I'm adjusting it down, sorry about that.
What, the sound get to you?
No, the gunfire was a little loud.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, took care of that, didn't they?
Yep. And I don't think we're quite... we're at the edge of our range with Belfast guns, so we'll hold off there for a little bit more for that second group.
The Belfast, it's a cruiser, isn't it?
She was a cruiser. In fact, she still is a cruiser. She's docked in London, if I recall.
Oh, the museum shipped it?
Yep.
I've always wanted to go there and do the war museums there.
Me too.
Imperial War Museum.
I'd like to see the Imperial War Museum, and I'd love to see like Bovington, the Tank Museum.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Royal Navy Museum would be nice too.
Victory and Warrior.
Yeah, Victory, and I think they have there's a couple. They probably have a bunch of museums. I could spend all year out there probably.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then the French have that new nuclear missile submarine that they just made a museum out of.
They what?
Yes, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah,
They turned a nuclear SSBN into a museum?
Yeah, so the first one that they made is now a museum.
I think that's first anywhere, right?
Yeah, that's the first one I've ever heard about. There's pictures of it online I've seen.
Wow.
YouTube videos where it's all there. They didn't cut it in half, I don't think, or anything like that. So
Yeah, so you can download and install the packages, if that's what you want. The only, I don't want to say really call it a downside, the only like little quirk with it is that you kind of have to click twice. Once will download the image and the second will refresh the page. It doesn't like do it all in one click. Whereas if you had them preloaded, but once they're in there, they're in there.
Yeah. And I hear that's a built-in thing. That's how it's supposed to, intended to work. So, just fine.
All right. Well, I think we've got all of our targets identified. Probably everything's all set there, and let's do maybe one more pass up here up north. Still got plenty of fuel. Let me see if we can harden the locations of those other mobile batteries.
You could probably park that cruiser right off the coast there and take care of that at the airport.
Probably could. could probably take my whole task force and just drive it off in here into the bay.
Yeah.
But what's the fun of that, though?
That one Chains of War scenario with I think it's the first one when the Koreans and the South Koreans have an artillery duel.
Oh yeah, that's a fun scenario. I like that one.
Yeah, it is. That's a good one. Real good scenario.
Yeah, I like that scenario. So we have a CVE. Ooh, we actually have torpedoes? Oh, this is gonna be fun.
This is great. It's kind of like a big, back when I was a kid, we played Army with the little green Army men, and this is basically the same thing but with computer chips.
So let's go and launch 3 of these as a group. And then what I want to do now, deselect all my reference points, reselect these ones, mission, create a new mission, patrol, AAW patrol is fine. For this one I'm just going to leave it within the random within area. Wonder if anybody's actually done like a fuel analysis of which one's actually better on the fuel, the random within area or like the repeatable loop.
I would say probably the loop would be more fuel efficient.
Yeah, probably. We'll do that. So we're gonna go with that.
I don't think Kalani, I don't think it was so much of a issue. It was the scenario. The person who designed the scenario had set up one of the task force units to sprint and drift, and we couldn't figure out why they weren't reforming until we dug down into the specific units and figured out they were set for sprint and drift. And once we unchecked it, they all went back into the formations like they should have done.
It's actually not the Triumph that's actually the Valley Forge. So the issue, I don't want to call it really an issue, but what was going on was that the escorts and the Triumph group down here were set to be spread and drift. So the carrier was running at 14 knots, and what was going on was that the escorts were doing exactly what they were told to be doing, which was sprint and drift. So they were sprinting to their station, then drifting back, but they were kind of falling out of formation from where I wanted them. We got another couple of patrol boats. All right, Belfast. Have fun with your guns.
Yep, get to it. The poor civvy's in the way there.
It's just a little junk. So we're gonna send this group of TB3S S2s. Wow. Didn't I launch another one of these? Oh, why did you guys group up? There we go. Formation. Okay, so he's gonna fly in into a formation, and then what I'm gonna do, this group's gonna go torpedo the Agnevoy. Morning, Dandon. There's our Corsairs coming up for our cap. Could probably take out those coastal batteries without an issue too if I want to.
You probably go after that number 7 there right now.
That's actually means there's 7 batteries in that.
Yeah, I know. I was just.
No, you didn't know.
Oh yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I knew. Okay, I didn't know.
Alright, so I think he can just go land. We don't need him anymore. Sending our Avengers to go torpedo the Agnevoy.
Oh, you don't get the Russians involved, huh?
No, it's it's a Soviet ship, but he's hostile.
Okay.
He's red.
I thought the
Oh yeah. So those units that were kind of red.
Those are Russians?
Yeah.
Oh well, we're now at World War III. Start nuking stuff.
Yeah, side Soviet Union.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oops. To be, it did say there was Soviet ships in the vicinity.
Yeah, but
man, if I had a penny for every time I started World War III in command.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Remember when Belugan declared war on Iran? In lightning strike?
Yeah. Belugan has declared war to a lot of things, so.
Well, there is that. There is that. The real question would be, who hasn't Belugan declared war on?
Yeah.
So have you been messing around too much with the new rebuilt standalone scenarios?
You know, I have. Well, I played this one yesterday, I believe, and then I have been a little bit. I mean, I have the scenario pack downloaded now, so there's 400 over close to 500.
466 on the one that I sent off this morning.
And then the what do you mean sent off? What'd you do?
I am curating the scenario pack now.
Oh, you did volunteer for that. Congratulations.
I did volunteer to do that.
So is it gonna update? Do I need to download that or?
Well, it should be at some point. I sent it off to Dimitri this morning.
Okay. So
we've got I don't want to say an issue, but there's a slight little hiccup probably with Steam in that Belugan uploaded the Steam ones the other day, obviously. Uh-huh. So we're looking, which means that everybody is going and subscribing to those scenarios.
Yeah.
But if I'm curating it, that means I can't actually update his scenarios that he uploaded.
Oh.
So it's just trying to work in to see if there's a solution to that. Otherwise, what's going to have to happen is that I'm going to have to re-upload all 466, and then we're going to break the ones that Belugan can just re-upload re-upload it, but that's a lot of his time basically updating stuff.
Yeah.
So still working on how that's gonna work out.
Yeah. See, they're all available on the Steam Workshop. If you open up Steam and go to the command, like you're going to play command, there is a little listing underneath the play button and it says workshop. If you go to you click on that, and that's where you can access all of that, and all those scenarios are there. And it looks like right now there is 463.
Well, that's not necessarily the scenario pack. That's what's on Steam.
Yeah, that's what's on Steam right now. Yeah,
The actual command scenario pack itself, or the community, I'll rephrase, the community scenario pack will be 466.
Yes. So yes, you can create custom scenarios and upload them to Steam, to the Steam Workshop, and then so everybody can play them. It's a great way to get scenarios out there to people that, if you're proud of making the scenario, put it up on Steam. That gives everybody a chance to play.
Wondering, do I want to set up a mission for this? I think maybe I do.
That sounds like maybe a strike mission.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Because I know with on the beta branch, they've been having a little bit of problem with that. So we'll see if we can.
Yeah, this actually isn't the beta branch, though.
Yeah, true. But I mean, let's see if it works here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow, we actually have an early warning aircraft. That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah, we have a A3D or AD3W.
Wow. Near me, there's a museum, Forbes Air Museum in Topeka, Kansas. They have a Connie there that is a early airborne warning plane. It's a Navy plane.
Oh, the Constellation?
Yeah, Constellation.
Really?
It's just sitting out there rusting away, but they've let me go inside it once when I was overexcited about seeing it. The old guy let me up into it. All the equipment is still there. It's just, it's never going to fly again or anything like that. But it was pretty neat plane.
These are depth charges. No, we have Mark 43s. Can this not target ships? Oh, I'm a dummy. These can only target submarines.
Oh, wow. Well, the Russians probably, this is a nice little parade he's putting on.
Well, I saw I saw Avengers, and I just assumed, hey, maybe,
I would think, I would have thought I would have made the same mistake as you would.
I should have, and it should have been clear when they said, hey, these have depth charges on them, that maybe it was an ASW loadout and not a AS.
Yeah, everybody return to base. We're done impressing the Russians.
Yeah, let's just fly over. Yeah, exercise over. Oops. I do need a support mission, though, since I do have AEW. This is what happens when I don't actually look at my...
I was playing the armed diplomacy scenario last night, and I spent probably over an hour just setting up my missions. It was, I'm meticulous about that. I love putting the missions up. And
which one is armed diplomacy again?
It's basically it's set in the mid-90s, and you have 2 full carrier battle groups against the 1990s era China.
Oh, is that that's the really massive one in Chains of War, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big scenario. About 2,500 units. So
that scenario scares me.
It's a lot. It's a lot to handle. I know that. You can affix a reference point to an enemy contact. You have to,
Yeah, so I can show you right now.
yeah, show him how to do that real quick.
Let's find something that's actually moving.
There is a Brexit scenario, and we can show you that in a little bit too. It's called
Well,
what's it
it's
called?
called You Brexit, You
Body-
Fix It, but it's not really a
Yeah.
Brexit scenario. The name's a little
It-
misleading.
Yeah, it's kind of a Russian kind of thing, isn't it? If I remember right.
Yeah, it's in the Baltic.
Yeah.
So what you do is I created the reference point right there. And then... Actually, I don't know if you can actually do it for a unit.
Yeah, you can. Click the unit, and then make select a reference point. No, go back up to the menu. It's the second one. The second one. No, go back up to missions.
Oh, I'm clicking change.
Yeah, make selected reference point relative bearing, and that'll make it follow it.
Oh, okay.
Sure, it's how it works. How come it's not moving?
No, it's not, because it's not a friendly unit. I think that only works for friendlies. I don't think it actually, because you see it's
highlighted as a hostile. Maybe it should move with it.
yeah. I didn't think it actually worked for any. I thought that only worked for friendly units.
Huh. I thought for sure I did that command.
No, it works. I know it works for friendly units. I don't think it actually works for
Unfriendly units.
unfriendly units.
I thought, because I remember there was a discussion where somebody wanted to do that, where to have like a recon plane shadow enemy formation, and that was how they was going to do it. Which makes
Well, what you would do in that situation is if you were doing it as the scenario designer, what you would do is pre-apply the reference points.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think it only works for friendly units. I don't think it works
Okay.
for... And the reason I think it doesn't is because it actually could be considered a game cheat.
Yeah.
Because then what would happen is that reference point would be moving while even if you lost contact with that unit.
Yeah, that does make sense, yeah.
So I think that's why it doesn't work for... It may have worked that way originally and way back when in the old days.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it works that way anymore.
But what you can do also, Kalania, is just put a reference point down and move it yourself manually as the contacts come in. That's
Got some DDs coming in on me.
coming after you.
Yeah, they are. I made them mad.
You stirred the hornet's nest up.
So we got plenty of fuel, so I'm gonna unassign that RTB order and go do some scouting. No multiplayer
No.
support.
Not yet. Not yet, if ever. They're being real tight-lipped if it's coming, and honestly, I'm of the vote where I'm not really expecting it or wanting it. I know some people want it, but it's
It's not something I'm really looking for. It's not really something I'm super excited for.
well, people got to realize this is a niche hobby to begin with. Not a whole lot of people play this game to go ahead and say, well,
I kind of see some of the advantages of doing multiplayer. My concern with multiplayer would actually be scenario design. Because a lot of, at least I know for like myself, I actually design scenarios more for that single player. And there's the balance, We're going to go and just use our SS Taylor here, which is a Fletcher class destroyer, to just go destroy that Azornio.
There he goes.
Just going to get rid of that destroyer before he gets too close.
Yeah, it's on a torpedo run, probably.
He's not going to make it that far.
That's what I like about these little scenarios too. It it teaches you the simulation without overwhelming you.
There's that, and there's something to be said for like that's why I'm not like in such a hurry to launch my airstrikes right now. Like if I was playing, if I wanted to rush, you don't, could have had my air units up right now, but I'm really not in like a super hurry for it.
Yeah, Stacey, there's advantages to MP multiplayer, but
that right there, Sace, it would be where I would go. I would love a cooperative scenario. I think that for me would be where
would it be like you handle Kushan, you handle the surface units, and I'll take the air units.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were just mentioning the Chains of War scenario. Imagine if you took a carrier group and I took a carrier group.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, speaking of kind of multiplayer, and you were talking about the buttons earlier, because that's what I think what these buttons down here are going to be for, actually. I think these actually have multiplayer implications. So what these will do is that these will advance. So if I click on advance time by 15 minutes, what it's going to do is it's going to run it at this speed that I have here, although it can be changed, just like normal. But after 15 minutes, it's going to auto pause.
That's what that's for. Okay.
Yeah, well, and you can still pause. You can still pause like normal, but what's going to happen is at the end of that 15 minutes, it's going to auto pause. Okay. And this is what I think. I think, like I said, I think this has multiplayer applications.
Or it could be just something where if you.
But that's a guess on my part, and do not quote me on that.
if you click that and want to go up and get a drink or something.
Well, yeah, and it's like if you want to play it more turn-based.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, exist. I'm.
I'm not even gonna try that name.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head. If you want to play it turn-based, I think that's
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's exactly what the if you want to play it turn-based, which look how Belugan did his old B chat or multiplayer function back in the day. That was basically turn-based.
Yeah, it was. That was a nifty little hack he had too.
Oh, it was.
It was nice.
But that's just my guess. We'll find out more. Hopefully in the future. I mean, it's a hugely requested feature. So. Oh yeah, the new maps are beautiful. So this is the Sentinel-2 satellite map with the Stateman Roads and Cities overlay on it. If you just wanted the satellite map. I know we don't keep the roads on, but in something like this, it actually
kind of nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nice.
And we was also discussing earlier about how the maps also load up a little bit faster if you're using a solid state drive in the SSD compared to a platter hard disk drive.
That was the case even in Commando, though.
Yeah, that was but they seem to load up a bit faster if you're using it on a solid state drive.
So we're gonna go and get strike 1 up.
Well, right now, Stacey, I believe the main focus of the devs is to knock out a lot of the opening day bugs that have popped up.
Yeah, I think that's really task 1 right now.
They are, they're busy knocking out a lot of the bugs that have popped up. So, we have forums available. If you guys find something you think is a bug, please go to the Matrix forums and post there. There is a sub-forum for that, and that'll definitely, they will give you feedback on whether they're listening or not. So, and they do listen. That is how I remember on days they have, just recently, just a couple days ago, they put out 2 builds in a day. So, and we've seen, and back in Commando, they used to do the same thing where they would put out multiple builds in the 24-hour period because they were so busy trying to fix the simulation in something that was a game-breaking bug.
Gonna remove those. We'll take out the tower, ammo bunkers. Do I want to strafe tarmac space? Probably not.
Just kill innocent civilians.
Well, it's at the airfield that I'm targeting, but I just don't think my little bombs are going to do much good. So we'll go after the bunkers, F-gas, and AC hangars. Those will be the targets. Go back to my task group over here. Assign all of this strike.
CC, you're going to need the attack view advanced for it to work in command.
Where's my Panthers?
Standard version will not work.
I actually got quite a bit of strike here.
No, this is SSN 754. Hello, Mike. I'm one of the beta testers for command. I'm on the Discord. If you go onto the Discord there, Kushan and I are old friends. We met back in the early days of Commando when it was still in beta, pretty much, I guess.
Yep. Well, I think we met right after the game launch when Belugan launched his chat room.
Yeah, it was pretty much right at launch of Commandos when we actually met. We basically don't go a day without talking to each other now, so.
And we do a podcast too.
Yeah, we do a podcast together. Basically, it's
supposed to be a flight sim podcast, but we've been really kind of gushing about Command the last couple of weeks on that.
And of course, if you guys don't know, Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming out with a new version of Microsoft Flight Simulator that looks amazing. It's going to blow everything out of the water, including DCS, as far as visuals go.
Yeah, Dan, in what? That was 2012, right?
Yeah, I would say 2012.
2012, 2013. When did Command launch?
No, golly, let me look it up. I don't know. Let's see if I can pull. Release on September 24th, 2013.
Wow.
So it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
And Dannon is also one of the originals. He was there at the beginning with us. Mike Northern, surprisingly, they're saying no to that because they're saying it's running really well on just regular systems, which is blowing my mind out of the. It's actually based on DirectX 11. It's not even DX12.
At least not initially.
So, they're saying the performance is really good right now for the systems it's running on.
So in my like perfect world of like what I would like to dream about is that at some point someday we're going to get that Azure streaming in Command.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be like my happy place. But it's just, I mean, let's be honest, that's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, Mike Northern, I hear VR is now one of the top priorities for the new flight simulator.
Have you tried VR at all?
No, I have not. I would look really stupid wearing that goofy looking helmet thing. So,
like, I don't really too much care about that. Like, my thing would be like if I'm home by myself, the last thing I want is like something that's covering my entire head.
Yeah,
like that just that just makes me uncomfortable. Not that somebody's gonna like come into my house, but if I have like a headset on with my headphones, like that's just a little bit too much, like, unaware of what's going on in my surroundings that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, I've got too much stuff going on around me to be doing something like that. I understand it probably is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's just a self-conscious, I guess, type of thing.
I mean, it's something I may want to try at some point in time, but I don't know.
TACView is available on Steam. You can get it there. They have a 25% discount running right now if you get TACView Advanced. They got a bundle going on. I'm not sure.
You don't have. I think only the Steam version has the sale going on right now.
Yeah, it's only on Steam.
25%
off.
I have, well, I don't have yet, but the standalone right now. Where is my aircraft at? That's interesting. I'm just using the one from the demo from TACView's website.
Yeah,
But I'll probably buy it from. It shouldn't matter, but I'm probably gonna buy it from TACView's website.
yeah. It's a 21-day demo period, so you have 3 weeks to figure out if you actually want to use it or not. I mean, it's not essential, but look at the kind of cool. Now, the reason you're seeing the little paper airplane icons there.
There's no model for it.
Yeah, this scenario set in 1950, and they don't have those old models for these units. So,
yeah.
For instance, like the surface ships or
modern. It's really not meant for it to be used. I mean, you can't. Obviously, I'm using it with a Cold War setting, but it's really not made to be used in the Cold War DB.
Yeah. I've noticed if you get up closer to current times, the models are a lot more correct.
Yeah.
Like I was playing this morning.
Yeah, Dammer, you should be okay. Or no, I'm sorry, but Cardo, you should be fine if you've got TACView Advanced for DCS. It should work fine with Commando or with.
Show them how to point it to.
Yeah, so
point the sim to TACView.
Yeah, so what you do is you go up here to, this is under the game option settings. You just go over to the TACView tab and you path it to where you have your TACView EXE, and then that's it. Hit that, and then all you have to do is close it out, and then no restarting the game or anything like that. It just instantly works.
Now, the one limitation I do have with TACView right now is, and it's not TACView's fault.
It doesn't have Fog of War right now.
Yeah, there's no Fog of War, so if you use it, you're going to see everything that's supposed to be on the map. So, the devs are working on that. Hopefully, we can get a fix here soon. But they've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I mean, we're still release week and all that, so.
Yeah, release week bugs is what they're working on right now.
Let's get the Triumph Strike up.
And honestly, Mike, once you basically get a good idea of where the units are already at in the sim, God view is not really a big issue, I find out. So
yeah, that was pretty much my thoughts. My thoughts on it was, I try not to use it too early, and if I am using it early, then
I basically turn it on when the shooting starts. So, and by that time, I basically know where everything is at.
Let's remove the hangars and the tar. Well, we'll take out the tarmac. Leave the hangars. Get rid of the runway. We don't have the firepower to take out those. Go the ammo bunkers. Have gas. That should be fine. Let's find the Triumph. So we have 9. So launches group. Launches group. Launches group. Assign each of these to my strike, and then we have have more. So I actually have no cap capability in this group, so just gonna keep launching everybody.
Everybody gets to go get something.
Yeah. It's going to be a flattened airbase by the end of this.
Yeah.
Signed to mission. As you strike. Perfect. Let them go do their thing. You can see it automatically paused now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that destroyer finally took out that other DD. There's my first group of Corsairs. Yeah, that's what I was doing too, Mike, was zooming in tight. The thing I kind of found was that some of the units would show up while you were zooming in,
Hmm.
and I just tried to ignore it.
I mean, it's the game is now perfectly suited for dual monitor setups. So if you have two monitors available to you, it's you can put the game on one and tac view and maybe the message log on the other.
There's the Triumph Strike coming up.
Yeah, there are different icons, Stacy. There's a stylized directional icons.
Yeah, let's take a look at the icons real quick. So this is actually, these are the NATO NTDS. The game, however, defaults to the stylized or directional stylized icons, which are these ones, which will show just kind of a top silhouette of a ship, a carrier, aircraft.
You notice how they're all pointed the way that they
and they'll point in the direction that they're traveling. The other ones, which I'm not a fan of these, I actually, the directional stylized are growing on me.
Mm-hmm.
The ones I don't like is I don't like the stylized, which is this one that I just loaded up right now. It'll show like a side silhouette, and then with like the arrow pointing in the direction, with a little line pointing in the direction they're traveling. And I don't like this one. I'm not a huge fan of these ones, but I kind of been bouncing. I know it's blasphemy SSN, but I've actually been bouncing between the directional stylized and the NATO.
Yeah, and he says it's blasphemy because I'm an old I'm retired Navy, and that's what we used on our displays was NATO.
Well, of course you did.
Yes.
You wouldn't use anything else, but I know.
Yeah, Flight Radar 24 is a good analogy for that. So
yeah,
it does look like that.
What, the directional stylized?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. And you can kind of tell what is an aircraft. Bombers look a little different than fighters.
Uh-huh.
Transport aircrafts look a little different than everything else. Just like the ships look different. You can tell where my carriers are versus which is a destroyer and which is probably a cruiser or maybe a cruiser.
And if you zoom in on them far enough, it's
yeah. Mine are showing up as Nimitz's though, so that's a little bit of a quirk. But
yeah,
again,
this is 1950 we're playing in here, so.
There's the Triumph Strike. They're forming up. Yeah, I know I get a lot of... I've had a couple comments on my YouTube channel to not use the directional stylized anymore, but again, they're, like I said, they're kind of growing on me.
Yeah,
it's not for everybody.
It's an acquired taste. I mean, it's just what you're used to.
The Corsairs are going.
If you've just playing the game for the first time and this is what you start with, you're going to stick with this probably.
Yep.
And that is kind of cool seeing those how they move like that, and I kind of dig that.
Yep. Well, they just hit their targets. They're RTB now. Oh no, they're going to circle back around. They should still have. Oh no. I guess he's going to go back with 8 rockets.
Yeah, mission over.
Because they had 1 engagement set, that's why.
Oh no, what the...
Or is everybody RTB? Oh no, that's just the Panthers circling around, because they're actually going faster than the others, so they actually have to circle.
Oh, okay. Because of jet, yeah.
Yeah, because they're jets, so they're going to circle around. I'm okay with going back with 8 rockets. That's really not going to do much.
That's true, Dan, and I really wasn't a fan of TAC View until I started playing with it. And now these icons, I might have to give it a whirl.
Mike, no comment. We're literally not allowed to say anything on that, so... I mean, obviously it's there, but that's about all we can say about that.
It's hush hush, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They really haven't told even the beta testers what's going on about that, so...
World War II database? Oh, I don't know anything about that.
No, don't know a thing.
I don't know where that folder came
I think
from.
World War II happened in World War II, didn't it, John?
About the mid 40s, right?
Yeah, it was about the mid 40s, World War II. You know, Hitler on ice type of thing, you know.
Yeah, Dan, and something
It's not
NDA.
not NDA. It's a threat of death. You know, it's.
I mean,
we don't want a crazy grief.
we could say, but then Dimitri would kill us both.
Yeah, it would be mob hits everywhere.
And I don't know about you guys, but I kind of enjoy living, and I kind of enjoy being on the dev's good side.
Breathing is fun.
Yeah, breathing is fun. Look at that strike.
Yeah, there's a lot of planes coming in. You got to queue up some Victory at Sea music or something like that.
I'm telling you, what I need to do is fire up the Top Gun scenario, and even though it's going to get flagged as no sound on Twitch and YouTube, I need to play the Top Gun theme song while I'm playing that mission.
Yes.
That's what I really need to do.
Did that movie already come out, the new Top Gun?
No, I don't think so. I heard the new Midway movie was horrible.
I heard it. Yeah, I'm not even going to touch that.
Military Times was calling it like the worst movie ever made.
Yeah, that's a pretty good reason to stay away from that. I mean, it can't be much worse than Pearl Harbor, the movie, but
No, they were saying it actually was actually worse than that.
Oh wow.
And when you have somebody saying that it's worse than Pearl Harbor,
yeah. Wow.
I mean, as they pointed out, there are just some things, some things you just don't touch, and it's like, don't touch the.
That's pretty sacred territory they're messing with there.
Yeah.
Has anybody in the stream, or any of our chat people, ever seen the original movie Midway with Charlton Heston?
I have, of course, seen it. That's a classic.
Yeah, I mean, that is like, was it like 4 hours long, isn't it? Yeah, Tora is another one.
Yeah, Tora.
Yeah,
there goes our bombs.
I remember the original Midway, it even had like an intermission, come up to say intermission, and then you go to commercial and get up and get your drink and whatever.
Yeah, I never actually saw the original Midway did you see the original Midway in theaters? Or are you not that old?
No, I'm not that old. Not quite. I'll tell you a story. Back when I was forming up to get ready to go into the military, I didn't know exactly what branch I was going to go into, and I hold on a sec. I got a dog barking at me. Just a second. I'll be right back, folks.
There it goes. Bombs going in. You can see where they're missing. These are World War II bombs, so not a surprise there that there's going to be some misses. These guys should be forming up and starting to their egress here shortly. Oh, coming in for another couple attack runs. They all should start heading home. Yeah, there's some AAA. I'm not super worried. I did lose one of my recon aircraft earlier in the mission. But they should just be getting ready to form up on to start egressing. I don't think anybody should have that much ammo left. Still got some rockets left. We'll let them do their thing. I completely forgot about the strike. Oh no, the strike in the south's just moving in now. Perfect timing. Guess one strike's already gone in. I was so focused watching that northern group, I forgot what's going on down here. Yeah, Dan, there's a couple of just mobile AA batteries down here. Nothing that's really super concerning. Is that it for the Triumph? They launched everybody, right? Yep. Oh no, they're still launching aircraft. Waiting for runway. So no, not everybody from the Triumph is actually launched. They're still launching and recovering. That's kind of interesting that it actually simulates the... Well, I guess there's one runway, but it's actually interesting that they... Never really noticed that before. I probably should have, but I don't really play in the Cold War database that much. So used to angled deck carriers where they can launch and recover at the same time.
Okay, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
And
I just noticed that straight deck carriers actually can't launch and recover at the same time.
And that's modeled?
Yeah. The
cool.
Triumph here is recovering, and it's got a whole bunch of aircraft waiting to take off.
Bro, that's kind of cool.
I'm so used to, like I said, I don't really play in the Cold War DB that much, so...
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, there is that... I just noticed they put that option in the import-export thing for the scenario editor, where you can import... It used to be where they kept the databases separate for the imports, and they don't do that anymore. You can import the old stuff and do like a post-1980 scenario.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew that they kept the files all in the same location. I didn't realize that I knew they kept the files in the same location. But I didn't...
So say if there's like an import where you or it happens to be in the old database, but you want it in a new SIN, you can do that now.
There's my strike returning back. The Triumph is still launching or recovering them down here, wherever they are. Yeah, they're still launching, well, it looks like they're recovering right now. They still have aircraft waiting to go, but I have my second strike up here to set up. I'm going to leave this mission inactive, though, until my other strike recovers.
So how did the strike go? It went well?
Strike in the north went actually pretty well.
Good.
It had a lot more force to throw at once, so didn't do too bad.
Well,
I didn't really go after the access points or the runway or anything like that, because those are just hard to destroy anyway.
Because I know.
So I went after a lot of basically everything that was down over here got finished off. Still some ammo bunkers left, but I'm gonna wait till this strike recovers. But I'm gonna set up the Pyongyang strike.
You still got 8 hours to go, so
yeah, I still got plenty of time. I'm gonna go ahead though, and I'm going to unassign all of these guys from that mission though. Or no, not that one, from this mission. The reason I like to unassign them, if anybody's curious, is because I don't want them relaunching until I tell them to relaunch. And that's just because I'm a control freak. But they should all RTB now.
Isn't there an option in the mission editor where you can just tell them it's a one-time deal?
There probably is. I'm just going to tell everybody, though. Yeah. I probably should have waited till they were all actually on deck, though, is what I should have done.
Yeah.
I gave that. Well, now they were all queuing, but they went unassigned because because their mission was to RTB. But then when I unassigned them from the mission, it cleared out their orders.
I think Navy is playing Notre Dame today. So
they are.
Yes.
They are.
I have to look that up real quick.
I think the game's this afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it should be starting right about now, but I gotta find out where it's at.
I don't know why you care. Notre Dame's gonna win.
Yeah, I don't know. Navy's got a good team this year. So.
Nope, they don't stand a chance against Notre Dame. Can you tell who I'm a fan of?
There it is on NBC. Okay.
Assign the tarmac base. Remove the runways, runway access points. Don't want any of those on my target list. There we go.
And Navy is losing 14-0. And it's 21-0 now. Oh, darn it.
Look at that stack lining up for...
Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. That is a stack. Wait till they all recover. Are they still... I think they're still waiting. Yeah.
5 hours, wow.
Well, I think quick turnaround's actually disabled in this scenario.
Oh, they've already landed? Okay, that's why.
Yeah, they've already relanded.
Yeah, no quick turnaround on these.
I wonder if that was intentional for a reason.
Could have been, you know. So how is everybody enjoying the sim so far, chatters? I mean, is anybody having really any big issues or anything like that?
A lot of aircraft to recover.
Yeah, it's going to take a while.
I'm going to go to 5 TX here.
Hey, Kushan, you haven't had any, like, crash of desktops or anything, have you?
I had some in Iron Hand the other day. When I tried to pick up one of my down pilots in Iron Hand, I had a crash there, but that's the only crash I've had.
Uh-huh. I've heard some people have had issues with, when they're trying to switch from a full screen to a windowed game. I haven't had that issue.
I don't know. I haven't really tried to play in window.
No.
I actually like the full screen. In fact, I really like that they switched it to full screen.
Well, I like the fact that you can take off the top buttons there, and you can also
yeah, you can collapse that.
You can collapse that bar too.
I'm gonna say, forget how you collapse that bar.
It's the blue arrow.
Oh yeah, the blue arrow.
The blue arrow. There you go.
And then you can shrink it up even more. Although it's a little bit of a stutter when you do it. I noticed that.
Yeah.
When you hide it and unhide it.
It doesn't come back straight away.
Yeah.
And, maybe that could get patched later on. The guys are always really good about fixing things like that.
Oh yeah. Looks like the Triumph's launching more.
Mike, I've had a few times where TAC-View has just kind of forgotten where it was at or where the units were at. Yep.
I haven't really had that. I've had TAC-View where I've had to close the window and reload it and reopen it to kind of refresh it.
Yeah.
That's really the only issue I've had with TAC-View. Overall, though, I think most of the issues haven't really been serious. I mean, there's been a couple people that have been having performance, but I don't think anything's been
we haven't had any performance issue, really. But, of course, there's the bugs. We got some serious bugs we're working on. So, how come I saw Mickey Mouse there. You see Mickey Mouse? I see Mickey Mouse.
Where do you see Mickey Mouse?
In the orange circles.
You've been watching too much Disney Plus, man.
That's a pretty nifty little.
In these circles or in these circles?
No, the orange dots. Those, yeah, those.
The outer one?
Yeah, the outer ones.
Where do you see Mickey Mouse in that?
That's an ear, and the other one's an ear, and the bottom is his face.
Oh, this is the face. Those are the ears.
Yeah. It's Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, it's probably the radiation from all the years on a submarine. So.
Oh, we knew that already.
Yeah. All the years from being on board.
Oh. Yeah,
I'm surprised you haven't sunk that guy yet.
I was just about to, and then the British strike was going in, and I wanted to watch it. Oh, don't do that, Says. You do that, and I immediately start like going through that. I immediately get that theme song in my head.
Yeah.
By the way, are those on Disney Plus?
Any what?
Are the old Mickey Mouse Club?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, that's disappointing.
About everything else is though.
Alright, I'm going to order my 2 gearings to go ahead and open fire on that Ognivoy. He's got fire control radar anyway, so as far as I'm concerned, that makes him a threat.
Yep.
Look at them turn out that fire.
Yeah. He's getting drilled down there, isn't he? Poor Russians.
That's what they get for not sailing in a group. Have I recovered everything? Nope, we're still recovering. Still recovering aircraft.
If that's an accurate rate of fire for those ships.
I mean, they're 5-inch guns. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty... I don't know if it's quite that fast, though.
Yeah, that's almost machine gun-like there. Like, they're pouring it on.
Not having too much luck on this airbase, though. I'm just going to keep them assigned to the mission. And maybe what I'll do here... I'll take Cossack. Let me take the Cossack and HMAS Shoalhaven. And I'm going to send them after the artillery. We're going to detach them from the group. Detach. There we go. So they're detached from the group now. We'll go ahead and close on the coastal artillery battery there.
That's an Australian ship, HMAS.
Yep, yeah. It is. Yeah, I'll have to talk with Dimitri about maybe slowing down the gunfire a little bit. Although, to be fair, it doesn't. I don't think realistic gunfire is actually enabled in this scenario.
Cannons are saying that it's real.
3 turrets, 2 barrels each. The rate of fire was pretty impressive. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
I mean, maybe that's what it's simulating.
I mean, the only thing I know of is how fast like the gearing fires in World of Warships, but that's not like something you should be basing.
Well, they seem to pride themselves on being realistic. Yeah, So.
What? World of Warships?
Oh well, have you ever seen their?
Please tell me that. Please tell me that was a joke.
Well, it was kind of done in sarcasm.
Oh, okay. But, yeah, no, I've seen some of their stuff.
So, like their YouTube videos were kind of interesting because they go to all these different ships that are museum ships now, and they visit them, and some of their videos online on YouTube are kind of cool. They do the same thing with the tanks and all, so.
So Cossack is in range of the artillery now.
Yeah, that just kind of seems like it's a little fast. Being that it's 1950 and I don't think they had automatic loaders.
Yes, they did.
back
Des
in
Moines,
that day.
the like HMSA, the Des Moines class were autoloaders.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of like French tanks were autoloaders, I believe, as well. I played a lot of warships back when it was in beta, and then I just kind of burnt out on it.
Yeah, I watch it on stream. There's a couple of Twitch streamers I watch that play World of Warships, and yeah, it is visually, it's a beautiful game. I mean, but I wouldn't dare call it a simulation of any kind.
Oh, not even close. They
No.
did 22 rounds per minute, a turret times 3. Wow, that's pretty impressive, actually. So if you
Yeah.
consider that each of these is probably, double barrel being shot from 3
Uh-huh.
turrets, that actually makes sense. All right, that
Yeah,
battery's destroyed.
and I'm sure the sim's not going to dial it down to where, like if a turret can't cover it, you know what I'm saying. If it's lying ahead, only one turret's going to be able to shoot. I don't think the commando is going to be simulating that. As long as it's in range, all the guns are going to shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take... Set a fixed bearing point. I want to move that point. It's not letting me move it. Oh. There we go. All right.
Kushan, what would you think? What would like the first DLC to be about
Oh, for
this?
ooh.
How about you, Chat?
Ooh.
Chat, how about you? I mean, what would you guys like to see?
What would I like for the next DLC? I want something different.
Yeah.
I was talking with somebody yesterday or the day before, and I think there's still a lot like live scenarios that haven't been done. Like Greece, Turkey. India.
Well,
I know we had India, Pakistan with Commonwealth Collision, but I think you could actually. I'm not a huge fan of Commonwealth Collision. I think it's a little hokey.
Maybe a live sim with a recent Syrian Turkish thing.
Maybe.
I mean, that would definitely look good with the whole addition of the ground warfare aspect of the sim. So I could see that happening. That way we can go plink on some tanks and things like that instead of using harpoons on ships and things.
Yeah, I actually did that the other night on stream. Actually got a video up on the YouTube channel now about the land combat.
So the Syrian thing could be interesting.
Yeah, I think you could do that. One thing I'm still, and I bought a game called Red Storm, which is a board game about the air war what would have been the air war over basically the Scent Front during like the 80s. And I am planning on, I've opened it up, I've kind of browsed through it, but I haven't had a chance to get it on the table, but I'm hoping to over the 4th of July, or not 4th of July, the Thanksgiving weekend. And so I would really like to see some, actually be able to break that. Getting into, and,
Hey, good Elgin, do you have the sim loaded or installed on a SSD or a hard disk drive? Because I'm seeing that it makes a difference to be on a SSD.
But full scenario pack, that's not alive, I don't know.
That would be a hard one to do, come to think about it.
Which one? Assyria?
Oh no, well, a whole scenario.
No, I'm talking about like what would the next Chains of War or Inferno?
Yeah.
What would the next full like pack? What would I like to see from there? And
Oh well, I've heard Iran-Iraq war suggested, but that's
I don't know if there's enough there though.
yeah, that's what I
You
was
know, I
saying.
mean, yeah, it ran for a long time, but I don't know if there's enough like variation in the hardware. You know, one thing that I think
Yeah.
made like Shifting Sands great is that it covered basically from what the 50s all the way to the 80s.
Hmm.
You know, and there, you know, you got a lot of variation in the hardware. I don't know if Iran Iraq, you know, actually has that much variation.
Well, it was the Iraq they were buying
Oh
units
yeah, I mean they were all
equipment
buying
from
stuff from
everybody.
everybody.
So
I'm just you know, maybe a Korea 2021. Like a Korea like 20, yeah, or like Korea 2021 or something like that. You know,
hmm
would it be would you know has some you know,
or maybe something along the maybe India, Pakistan, China kind of thing.
maybe.
You know, we're sitting here dreaming, but
The one thing I know of is that I want anybody to stay away from this area up here.
that's my hunting ground
I know that's your hunting ground. You have fond memories of not
of being
being
up
up
there.
there, don't you?
And yeah, no, technically I was never there, but I was there. So
Yeah, I thought you couldn't admit that. You
let's
were in
say
international waters the whole time, weren't
I
you?
was in yeah, I was in international waters the whole time. So
Uh huh.
uh
Uh huh. I believe that.
it's true.
All right, so let's go ahead and get the next strike up now that we finally have recovered all of my first strike from the Valley Forge. They can all get assigned to the strike. I should still have some Panthers. This is really overkill, but let's let everybody get up. You have anybody else that still got... Oh, we still got plenty of, like... Ooh, what do we have over here at... What targets are still over here? Runway tarmac. What's the mission actually have for the strike? Wow, the Haiju strike, they hardly hit anything.
Wow, yeah.
They didn't get anything. The Ajangni strike, they did pretty well though. They took out quite a bit.
Maybe that's going to need another revisiting there.
It's gonna need. Both are actually gonna need revisiting, but I got some Sky Raiders that are looking for something to do. So I'm gonna split these guys down the middle. Some I'm going to assign to a couple more. I'll assign the Napalm guys.
Yeah, Running Man, that would be a good idea too. Something along those lines. They just that was one of the focus of one of the big DLCs though. Shifting
Well,
Sands.
that was the not Shifting Sands. That was Black Gold Blitz.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That was
you're right.
Black Gold Blitz. But you know, I think there may actually be potential there for like an actual full campaign. You know,
Sure.
that's actually not a bad idea. You know, I think you could
That
actually.
whole part of the world could be one big DLC.
Well, there's that. Mission.
Sace, if you really want a fun Libya scenario to go play, look on the community sins. There is a scenario called Operation Folgore, Folgore. It is basically Libya versus the Italians, with the modern Italian navy, with both their little carriers and a bunch of Eurofighters. It is a very fun scenario. It teaches you a lot about air-to-air refueling, how to get that to work, and how to set up missions. You know, it's it's a big sin, but it's easy to get going. So very good, well-made sin. It's kind of old, I think. It's been out for quite a while, but I've always had fun with it.
Or if you're also looking for a good Libya scenario, Operation Eldorado Canyon, 1986,
Yes,
by some guy known as Kushan. I have
yeah,
no idea who he is, but
Kushan did a yes. He is. I'm sorry about that, buddy, but yeah, his scenario is the Reagan era raid on Libya in 1986. One of the forming one of the forming events of my military career was that one, where that basically said, "Hey, kid, you're going to go to the military someday." That was one of the days it did that. Was I believe what was it? April? Was it in
April
April of
14th,
'86?
1986.
Yeah, I was basically 13 years old when that happened, and I remember it very clearly being on the news.
I was
And Reagan,
I was 2 days shy of being 4 months old.
yeah,
To
I remember
date me.
Reagan going on TV that afternoon or evening and explaining what happened, about why he did it, and there was a really big feeling of patriotism, and we finally got one on the terrorist type of thing. Because Gaddafi back in the day was quite a thorn in everybody's side.
I probably put about just as much into that scenario as most people put into like their thesis.
Yeah, you have done a lot of work on that.
I think the only thing I never was able actually to find was the tanker call signs that they actually used.
And we did. We both searched for that
We
for
both
quite a
searched for
while.
that. I ended up just having to go with the generic call signs that the
You know,
um,
and only somebody who was actually there and involved was ever going to know anything about that. So
that's I
I
know,
think,
but I mean
but
but like all the call signs for the strike aircraft were there.
yeah, but we're completists, so we
Well,
searched for it for quite a while. So
for me, it's partly that, and it's like about giving everybody their due.
yeah,
You know, if
that
that makes
too.
sense.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well,
the F-111's got kind of all the glory, but those tankers on that mission, man. I
yeah,
mean,
that was on the
granted, they weren't flying in a little two-seat fighter, you know, and they could actually get up and walk
yeah,
around if they had to, but you know,
but it was
those
something
tankers
on the
made that
order.
mission possible.
It was something on the order of Black Buck in the Falklands, that kind of scale. So
Yeah, not quite on the scale in the distance though, where you had
yeah,
tankers refueling other
yeah.
tankers that were refueling other tankers that were refueling other tankers,
Hmm.
which were then refueling the actual bombers just to do it again on the way back. It
And it's
wasn't
just one
quite
bomber.
that complex, but
Yeah,
it was.
just one, just one bomber is what they did. One plane, all those tankers for one. Was it a Victor or I can't remember the British bomber
I think they
name.
were victors.
Victors.
I think they were
One
victors. I think that was the last bomber the British built.
one of the V bombers.
Yeah, it was one of the V
Yeah,
bombers.
and then one plane and then like 20 refueling planes just to get that one plane down to the Falklands.
Yeah, I
So
think they flew from where? They flew from.
see it, and
Did they fly right from England or did they? I think they flew.
no, out of the Ascension.
Yeah, they flew out of Ascension, right?
Yeah, which is I think. Well, you were almost there,
Yeah.
but you're going back to your sin, so no biggie.
Well, there or what? Ascension's down here.
Ascension's about halfway down.
Yeah,
It's like right. It's either that island or that one right there. Those two.
it's one of
I
those two,
believe
right?
I think so. And from there, the Falklands is still all the way down to the bottom of South America there. So that'd be another place I would like to maybe go see is the Falkland Islands.
Not much there though.
No, there's not much there, other than my morbid historical curiosity.
That's true. Although you do realize they're not going to let you onto Mount Pleasant, though, right?
They
No.
do have tours.
Do they
Well,
really?
no, oh, no, well, not at the Air Force Base there. No,
That's what I mean. You do realize they're not going to let you onto
no, oh,
RAF Mount Pleasant, right?
no. There's not much to see there either. Really, I think they don't keep a very many planes there anymore.
They keep a group of Typhoons there
Yeah, typhoon, a few typhoons, and
Yeah, they
probably
keep a flight of 4 there constantly, and they rotate them out in and out.
yeah.
There's our second strike going in. Actually, that's 2 strikes worth of
Right.
stuff
What are
going
they
in.
doing? Well, they all of a sudden going in circles there.
Because some are actually some are the escorts, and this is
Oh,
actually the Pion Gang strike too. This isn't just the. I have a second strike going in at this airbase, and most of this is actually the Pion Gang strike.
okay.
That's what's going on here. Ooh, we actually got some bogeys. We got some hostiles. What I actually should do is... I think I screwed up, though. I forgot to change... Oh, I don't want mission doctrine. I want the escort doctrine. Escort doctrine. MCON. Radars are active already. Okay, that's good. Perfect.
Good.
We got some bogeys that came up. That's interesting.
Yeah.
They are going to make a fight of this. This will probably be the last strike, though, guys, and then we'll probably call it a day after this.
Yeah.
I've had a long week and streaming, and my voice is kind of starting to give out a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go. They got some bombs going in.
Love those maps.
Yep, me too.
Oh, you can see the little bombs.
Got some more bombs going. We got some more hostiles coming up.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad strike. None of those hit Jack.
Probably true to life. You know.
Yeah. Find that rockets are probably a little bit more effective in
I
this
guess
era,
so.
but some of what we're trying to hit is like hard, ammo bunkers on the surface with rockets. That's really not going to do much.
You should pull up TAC view real quick and see what that fur ball looks like.
We can do that. Since there were so many models missing, I haven't really kept it open this stream.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's why I was trying to keep it.
It'll be a bunch of paper airplanes flying around.
Yeah, that's exactly why I kind of had it closed.
Yep, paper airplanes.
Yeah, it's just got a bunch of paper planes, so instead of watching that, I figured watching the actual map in this case would probably be a little bit more interesting to watch.
And, that's what we kind of grew up doing anyway, was watching this.
Got some yaks that came up after me. Did get some hostiles. Getting some hits, but also going, like I said, going after ammo bunkers.
Not every scenario is going to be a 700-point victory. So.
Yeah, did you post a picture of you where you got a 700-point victory this morning?
Yeah, I did. I don't know, I forget what I was playing, but man, I was invincible.
You did load an OP4, right? You weren't just you didn't just load up some dummy units in the editor and decided
No,
to.
I was playing a scenario. It was I forget what scenario it was. It was I think out of the community pack, and I was I was a U.S. carrier battle group going through the Straits of Florida there. The Cubans were trying to stop me, and they didn't stop me.
Were you playing? You were playing Havana Daydreamin', were you?
No, I forget the name of this. It was the Northern Fury.
Oh, okay. One of the
Fury.
Caribbean Furies.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. I think our strikes are really just kind of wrapping up now.